Hello and welcome. We are getting some practice dividing decimals today. And this is very similar to division we've done in the past. We just have to take into account some new rules and maybe some scariness dividing decimals, but I promise it won't be too bad. What we actually want to do is 0.3, 51 divided by 0.3. That feels scary, but how could we change that? What if it was just 51 divided by 3? That would be much easier to do, right? So let's write that instead. How many times does 3 fit into 51? One time. 1 times 3 is 3. Find the difference. 5, take away 3 is 2. Get some help from the 1. Does 3 fit into 21? 3 times 7 makes 21. And there's no remainders. So what did we do? What's the difference between 0.3 and 3? Well, we moved the decimal one spot to the right to make 3. Okay, when we move the decimal one spot to the right to make 3. So what are we going to do? Notice we didn't have any decimals here. If we did, it would be 51.0, right? If we did force there to be a decimal inside. So where would there be a decimal? Since we were very careful with where we place the digits, there would typically be the decimal here at 17.0. But since at the beginning we moved this decimal to the right one, we're also going to move this decimal to the right one. And of course there's going to be a placeholder. So the answer we're looking for is actually 17. Let's try another one. Okay, so now again, instead of doing 427 divided by 0.7, let's do 427 divided by 7 without the decimal. Just see where we go. Let's take it easy, make sure we line things up very carefully. How many 7s fit into 4? None. How about how many 7s fit into 42? That would be 6, right? 6 times 7 is 42. Find the difference. 7 does not fit into 0, so let's get some help from the next digit. Does 7 fit into 7? Exactly 1 time. 1 times 7 is 7. Subtract and get 0. Okay, so 427 divided by 7 is 61. But remember at the beginning, to go from 0.7 to 7, we move the decimal point one spot to the right. So where would this be? If there were a decimal on the 427, it would be 427.0, which would put the decimal at 61.0. But remember at the beginning, because we had to move the decimal one spot to the right, so we're going to move it one spot to the right. I'm going to have a placeholder. So really, 427 divided by 0.7 is 610. Next one. I'm going to rewrite this just like I did before. So instead of 0.4, I'll do 4. Okay. Does 4 fit into 7? It will fit in 1 time. 1 times 4 is 4. Find the difference. Get some help from the 5. Now does 4 fit into 35? 4 times, think about that for a minute. What number are we looking for? Okay. What about 4 times 8? What do you think? So we have 4 times 8 would be 32, of course. And what is our difference? So 35 take away 32 would be 3. Does 4 fit into 3? Not quite. Let's bring down the 3. How many times does 4 fit into 33? Well, 4 times 8 again made the 32. So 4 times 8 would be 32. Find the difference. 1. Now 4 does not quite fit into 1, does it? Does 4 fit into 1? It does not. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make a point 0 and get some help. Does 4 fit into 10? It does 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. Find the difference is 2. Make another 0 to get some help. Does 4 fit into 20? Yep, it does. 4 times 5 would be 20. Okay, 5 times 4 makes 20. And now we're all done. We have no remainders to worry about. So as this stands, the decimal should be placed in the quotient here. But you have to remember that because we moved the decimal 1 spot to the right, so that we were working with 4 instead of 0.4, I will move this decimal 1 spot to the right. So really what we're looking for is 1,882.5. That would be our answer. Okay, oops, sorry about that. One more on this page. So, similar scenario here, except before we had we were working in the tenths place and working on the problem from there. So here we have a 1.2. It's going to be the same process, except it'll be 12 and 951. Okay, so how many times will 12 fit into 9? It won't fit into 9, will it? How many times will 12 fit into 95? 7, right? So what is 7 times 12? 84. Find the difference. It'd be 11. Does 12 fit into 11? Not quite, so we need to get some help. Drop this 1 down. How many times does 12 fit into 111? That would be 9 times. 9 times 12, 108. Find the difference. Okay, does 12 fit into 3? Nope, so we have to make a 0. So let's do a decimal and make a 0. Drop that 0 down. How many times does 12 fit into 30? Well, it would fit in 2 times. 2 times 12 is 24. The difference here is 6. Now 12 does not fit into 6, so we need to make another 0 off to the right. Get some help on that. Does 12 fit into 60? It would fit in 5 times. 5 times 12 is 60. Find the difference. And we finally got down to 0. Now, if we were careful up here when we placed the digits, the decimal should be right here after the 79. But recall that so we didn't have to work with a decimal, we shifted the decimal point 1 spot to the right. So that we were working with 12 instead of 1.2. So we also shifted 1 spot to the right up here. So the number we're looking for is 792.5. That would be our answer. Okay, great job everyone. I'll see you next time.